But this was kind of the aftermath of June 24th, where the Mercury defeated you all at the Fever. You guys were at Indiana,
Yep.
111-109. You had a solid, not a double-double. You had 23, 9, and 5, but that's not really what everyone was talking about, that you didn't get a double-double. You were 1 rebound shy. They were actually talking about, Caitlin lost control of the ball. Alyssa Thomas landed on top, scrambling for the ball, and her fist made contact with Caitlin Clark's throat. And during the scuffle, AT appeared to push her fist into Caitlin's neck. No foul was called on the play. And later, Caitlin left with a back injury, which nobody confirmed whether that had anything to do with the back injury. But after the game, Stephanie White went off on the officials after the game, and she said, quote, "It was egregious. The fact that it was a no call, you got to call it. It's absolutely egregious and utterly disrespectful. We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And I just say, again, absolutely unacceptable." So the day after the game, Alyssa Thomas was assessed a flagrant foul, 2, and a 1-game suspension. And AT later said she'd received death threats and was called racial slurs. She criticized Commissioner Kathy Engelberg for not doing more to protect the league's players. There's a lot to unpack here. And I've had a lot of time to unpack it and seen all the comments and all of these things. Here's the thing. Do I think that it should have been upgraded? Yeah, I do. I think it should have been upgraded to a flagrant 2, assessed a 1-game suspension. But again, the lack of coming out and actually talking about the things that are happening after things were assessed, like Alyssa Thomas, right? She was loud and proud about saying she didn't hear that she was being suspended until almost 10 minutes before the game. So I think it also goes back to the league in protecting their players and having certain standards where this is what happens. This is the process that happens when there is an upgrade of a foul or something that hasn't happened. I just want it to be about basketball. That's all it is, honestly. And I know that everybody's had an opinion. Everybody's going left, right, front, center, all of these things. But it's like, if you make a foul and it is upgraded to a flagrant 2, you serve your suspension and then you go back and play. And there's no death threats and all this stuff. Like, this is a game of basketball, man. And I just think we're so into, like, you're either this or that. Like, there's no gray area. And I know that there are a number of fans, and I know the WNBA fans get talked about a lot, and especially the new fans, but there are great fans out there. And there are fans that love the game of basketball and want it to be about basketball. And I feel like those are the ones that are important. But the other ones, we can't still ignore. Like, the league has to come out and say, we don't condone that. Like, we don't condone death threats. We don't condone these things. And it's also just like, how old are you? You're a 60-something-year-old man in your grandma's basement talking about somebody, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it just doesn't make any sense why someone would take that way. I don't know. So I know
it's literally always intense. So, like, I feel like, yes, just like you said about basketball, like, it was a flagrant 2, is a flagrant 2. Like, that should have never been done. Like, you don't put your hand in someone's throat and, like, damn near kick them on the floor. Like, it's a basketball game. Like, what are we doing? Like, and so obviously that was the right call. And as for the death threats, like,
I've been on the other side of those, Aliyah. Like,
Yeah.
I've been on the side of some players' rough play. So if there's anybody that could probably speak about this and being roughed up and being, like, disrespected and whatever, it's probably me. But in terms of taking it farther than that, it's just like, what are we doing?
I mean, some people do that after you don't cash their parlay, dude. I don't know. It's too much.
But I do think that we are talking about protecting players, and the league is not responsible for everyone making a comment. I'm not holding the league responsible for that. I'm holding the league responsible for not coming out and condemning it, because there's got to be some sort of way to come out and make it and not have to be so delayed in making just common sense statements. I don't know. But I don't disagree with the call. I think it should be upgraded and play on. So in other play on, my transition sucked today. I've been out for 19 days.
Paid leave. Paid
Shit,
leave.
I need to get back on my shit. The Commissioner Cup, it was, I won't lie. I was really excited because I was like, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, this is what the world wants to see. And then when Asia went out, and in the first, because I was calling the game for Amazon Prime, along with Mike O'Grady and LaChina. When I tell you the first 10 minutes of the game, I was like, uh-oh, this is about to be a blowout. I was like, this is about to be a blowout. Like, uh-oh. And then I was like, the Aces, they have a way of like making a run. You know what I mean? They have a way of making a run in them. Like, they're not going to lay down. There's no way. Some things happened. Chelsea got hit in the nose, went out.
Yeah, that was
things kind of changed.
Yeah, it was a lot with her and Fee bitch.
Right. And then you're like, okay. And you see the Aces make a push, man. Jackie was hooping by herself in that third quarter.
Jackie was
hooping. And Sabrina Ionescu had her best game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
She came out 26-5, 5 assists, 5 of 13 from 3. Brianna Stewart, 25-11, 4 assists, 2 steals. I will say, they handed me a ballot and they asked the MVP, right? You get to vote. And at that point in the time, there was 2 minutes left in the game when they hand you the ballot, and they come back and ask for it kind of like before, because they need it to tally it. And at that point, Sabrina hadn't hit the 2 dagger threes. So of course, I'm like, Brianna Stewart, first of all, she's played in every Commissioner Cup game. And then in this game, she is like the difference, really. Sabrina, yes, the pocket pass to her, Brianna Stewart, and things like that. Amazing, but you look for just on both sides of the ball, Brianna Stewart is dominating. Yeah. And I feel like we should not get used to greatness. I think sometimes people don't get voted that because they've done it before or whatever. And I'm like, no, in this game, Brianna Stewart has had a huge impact. Yeah. So I voted Brianna Stewart. But then when Sabrina hit them 2 dagger
you were
threes,
like, wait,
I was like, let me get the ballot back. Let me get the ballot back, but it had already been in. I don't think you could have gone wrong. I'm with Stewie. Shared MVP would have been amazing for them. But to be there to witness, man. To be there to witness their season turning around with all the injuries and all the ups and downs. Sabrina in, Sabrina out. You talk about Satu, they're still not completely whole. Everything going on with Benigel Laney, which has been crazy to watch. But I do think that the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, and as you guys can attest to, last year you guys made it to the semifinals overtime game 5. It does help in the midseason. Like, how much does it help to play that type of basketball in the middle of the season?
It definitely helps. I mean, because you feel that intensity and, like, you want to know what it's like. Like, okay, like, you know how small the margin of error is. Especially for us, like, being the squad that we have, it's like, okay, like, this is where we have to improve. Like, this is where we have to get better. Like, some things you get away with other teams. When you're playing the Aces, when you're playing the Liberty, like, you have to make sure that you are doing everything you can, because they are going to make you pay. For any little mistake, they are going to make you pay.
Yeah, they're going to make you pay. And obviously the Commissioner's Cup is a 1-game scenario. This year is the best of 7 in the finals. So some of these teams, it's going to be real hard for them to lose 4 games.
Yep.
And I would and that's the conversation, right? Like, it's not whether a team can get there. It's whether a team is capable of losing 4 games. And I think when we're talking about the rankings, because the rest of the WNBA, right? Lynx 1, Aces 2, Valkyrie 3, Wings 4, Liberty 5, Fever 6, Dream 7, Mystics 8. Those are the teams that are in the playoffs right now.
Yep.
So when you go down that list, and you don't have to participate in this because you're playing against some of these teams. If I'm looking at this list, I would say the Lynx, the Aces, the Liberty, and the Fever are 4 teams to me that it is going to be very hard for teams to beat them 4 times. And I'm talking about the adjustments, the way that they can play, the style, the experience. It's going to be really hard to beat those teams 4 times, right? And if you're putting those teams together, the Lynx, the Aces, the Liberty, and the Fever, and those 2 teams are playing just based off of just straight up experience,
Yes.
Aces and Liberty are the two teams that are going to be the toughest
Mm-hmm.
to beat 4 times because you have players that have won championships and played in those meaningful games.
Yep.
So I just think it's going to be very interesting to watch how the rest of the season goes.